Hi everybody, this is Max from South Spain Properties. We are going to do a few videos to explain to you guys out there how to make good investment when you buy a property, real estate, houses, villas, apartments, penthouses and so on. We are real estate in Marbella ourselves. We are active in Marbella, Estepona and Benahavis in coastal area of Costa del Sol. Whilst we are explaining to you the things to consider when you are making an investment, buying a property, we'll also try to explain to you these coastal areas and where to go, where not to go, and so on. So without further ado, perhaps you're all aware of this one. First rule when you are when you're going to buy a property for yourself and also hoping to make good money on top of it if in future you want to sell it, is the location. So today we are going to only talk about location. Now when we're going to talk about location, let's talk about everything from top to bottom. So first thing is, where would you go? Which country would you choose to buy another property? If you already have a property in your own home country, wherever it is, France, Holland, Germany, and you want to buy another one, perhaps you will think of a holiday home, for example. That's a good idea because, hey, you can not only go on holidays to your holiday home, is sitting there. When you go on holiday there, you don't pay any rental anymore, so that's one saving. Also, when in future property price goes up, you have a holiday home with a big profit on top. So first of all, let's talk about countries. What countries would you go to buy a holiday home? Well, I would recommend you to stay away from countries that they have any kind of internal conflict, wars, civil wars, war with the neighbor or whatever is going on. You never want to spend any money in these kind of countries. You may find somebody who says, hey, look, my property is worth $1 million, I'm giving it to you for 400. It doesn't matter. You're still buying in a country whereby if you want to sell it again, perhaps nobody will be interested to buy it from you. So that's a no. So look into stable countries where over long period of time that you remember they have showed stability. Okay. Next thing, which cities would you look into? Right. So in terms of the cities you will be interested to go to, what do we recommend? Again, look into the popular cities. Let's talk about Spain, for example. In this instance, we work in Spain, okay? We are in south of Spain, here in Marbella. Let's think about it. What big cities are out there? Madrid, Barcelona, and there are Seville, Cordoba, other mid-sized cities there. And when you are buying a holiday home, look which cities are more popular with foreigners. Why? Because when you want to buy it, sell it later on, there is other people interested to buy it from you. Let's put it this way: if you go to a small village, beautiful, charming houses, whitewashed villages, any kind of thing that you emotionally fall in love with it, and there is nothing wrong with that if you're not thinking of resale value. But if you are thinking of resale value of your property when you want to sell it, you need to make sure you buy it in a popular area. For example, Marbella, in the center of Marbella, urbanizations in the Marbella like Sierra Blanca, Golden Mile, they have international name. Another thing to think about popularity of a city is like how international it is. For example, Marbella in Marbella you have 50% foreigners living in Marbella and you have 50% Spanish residents living in Marbella. Out of these 50% who are foreign, more or less half of them live permanent, half of them they come and go. Most of them, half of them still have businesses in France, Holland, Germany, northern parts of Europe that they are still running their businesses. So they are here only for holidays, for summer, for short periods of time. Rest of the year, the property sits empty or whatever. In any case, this kind of place like Marbella makes a good choice for you to buy a property as an investment. Okay. Next thing to explain is exclusivity. Okay, so when you go to a city like Marbella, you look into the areas. Perhaps you will get a car, you drive around and see what areas you like, which is fantastic because you get a feel of the areas. But let's think what areas are more popular. First of all, the most popular choice amongst foreigners is urbanizations. So, why? Because in urbanizations, most of them you have fenced off area, big swimming pools, gardens, security, concierge service. Some also we have some complexes we have for sale. You have indoor heated pool, gymnasium, a lot of facilities. So that's why a lot of these urbanizations are very popular amongst foreigners, because when they are here, they want to enjoy life, lounge around the pool all day or whatever they want to do. So urbanizations make good choice. Now also in every city you go, there are small pocket areas that are really interesting, and also there are some pocket areas that are not so interesting to go to as for living. Okay, so for example, I mentioned a few good ones. The good areas in Marbella are Golden Mile, which is between Marbella and Porto Banús. You have on top of that, top of the Golden Mile, you have Sierra Blanca. Then to east of Marbella, you have a few luxury urbanizations like Los Monteros. Then you have Elviria to the far east of Marbella. Then in the west area, Marbella meets with Benaharis and Estepona. Also in Benaharis and Estepona, there are some really interesting pocket areas, very interesting. Also, don't forget, always ask your agent, because even in an area like Golden Mile, perhaps there will be some pocket area that your agent will explain to you, this pocket area not so interesting, and this part more interesting. So they will tell you based on advantages and disadvantages where to make your investment. Next one we want to explain to you is the roads. So roads is not very difficult. Perhaps when you drive around you will get a feel. You will see the roads are cleaner, there is pavement, there is street lights, there is amenities. Amenities, I come to that in a minute. First, we wanted to say green zones as well. Some areas you will drive around and you will notice it's just only apartments. There is no public area. It's all dense and all so on. So look around and see what areas have been developed nicer, and they have allocated some public zones, some public parks, and so on. Next one is public transport. Okay, now let's talk about public transport. Marbella doesn't have airport. For example, let's talk about Marbella. Marbella doesn't have an airport, train station. Marbella has only a bus route. You can catch a bus, catch a coach from bus station, which is in the center, to Malaga Airport. Malaga Airport is international airport. destinations to many European countries and other countries. Now, the thing is, what you have to understand about Marbella is that Marbella is all about luxury and exclusivity. And Marbella is not like New York or like London or I don't know, Shanghai or some of these countries, some of these cities. In some of those kind of cities like London and New York, a property on the bus route perhaps has a lot of value because a lot of people are workers there. They want to come out of their house, get on the bus or metro or whatever it is and get to the city center and work. Marbella is all about exclusivity and luxury. A lot of exclusive urbanizations in Marbella and Benaharis, they are not on the bus route, they are not near the train station, they are near nothing. Because let's face it, the lifestyle is not about using public transport. When some of these owners typically spend $500,000 to 10 million, 20 million on a property, the idea is not to catch a bus back to the center. They have luxury cars or they get chauffeured around. In any case, what I wanted to make sure you understand is that if in Marbella a property is not near the bus route and near public transport, it doesn't mean it's cheaper. Generally, it could be way more expensive than the center. Also, in any case, remember, it's all about lifestyle you are starting to make for yourself for future. And this is something that we come to times and times again with a lot of customers when they come to us and ask us where to buy, what do we have, what properties do we have, apartment, house. What I always personally ask them is that, what is your lifestyle? Because, for example, if your lifestyle is in future not using a car, going to restaurants, eating out a lot, walking back home without using a car or bus or anything, your best option is in the city center, because in the city center you have some of the best restaurants, you have supermarkets, you have doctors, hospitals, anything you want in the center, all available to you. So maybe after all, again, it goes back to the lifestyle you're trying to achieve. Using a car, not using a car, and so on. So, next one. Shops and restaurants nearby. This is a very important factor for many people when they are buying a holiday home. Shops and restaurants near their property. However, I have to tell you this: if you are buying a property with a limited budget, don't be too hung up on this. Because the difficulties with this is that if you want to be close to all the shops and all the good shops and restaurants, again, like I said, your only option in Marbella, for example, is in the center. However, in the center, prices are very high. So if you come to Marbella with 200,000 euros to spend, be close to shops and restaurants is quite difficult, or in some cases impossible. Now, think about that. When you're talking to your agent, explain to them what you like to do. You want to be close to shops and restaurants because how often you come to Marbella or whatever, and an experienced agent should be able to advise you what zone to look at based on your budget. Next one. Beaches and ports. Again, being close to beach is a fantastic thing, no doubt. If in Marbella you want to get a property close to beaches and ports, is a very popular area. As a result, it's quite expensive. Just remember, when you also add this option to your criteria, beaches and ports plus good sea view, price shoots up quite badly. Why? Because if you're on the near the beach but you want to have panoramic sea views, well, the only choice is seafront, proper seafront, and seafront properties are quite expensive. So again, bear in mind, depends on the budget. So next one. Airports and the train stations. Like I already explained to you, there is no airport in Marbella, and to be fair, nobody also even is interested to have an airport in Marbella. It's a luxury area. People are not going to be interested in the noise that an airport will cause for the area. Also, train. There is talks already about extending the train at the moment that comes from Malaga Airport. Last station is in Fuengirola. Now there is debates and they are working on it. They are interested to expand this train from Fuengirola to all the way to Marbella as well. But that's a future project. Okay? Future plans. When you buy property, also it's important to kind of get a good idea what are the future plans for this area. In Marbella at the moment there is a few future plans for it. I'll explain to you. First of all, airport, like I said, no. Train station, they are hoping to expand the railroad to come to Marbella as well. We don't know when. They are going to build another luxury port in Marbella, where at the moment we have the old fishing port. They are planning to expand that to the sea, and this new port will have the capacity for around 1,000 yachts, luxury yachts, and also 2 big cruise liners to stop by, because the main reason is that a lot of people who go on cruise trips, they are really interested to see the old town of Marbella. So what do they do at the moment? Well, they stop in front of our office. Our office is on the front line of the sea here in Marbella. So what they do, the cruise liner stops in the middle of the ocean, because the port of Marbella at the moment is not deep enough for that cruise liner. And they taxi the customers between the ship and the port, and then they visit the old town and then they go back. So anyway, future plans in Marbella is such an active area, such a rich area. So there is always future plans, there is always new projects going on, renovating the roads, so many projects going on. It's an amazing place to make a purchase, because the future value of your property by Marbella is always guaranteed to have some profit on top. What more we wanted to talk about here? Stay away. What locations to stay away from? Locations to stay away from is not so difficult. If you see near your property you want to buy a half-built villa, for example, or half-built complex that is not finished and people are squatting in it. If you see a dump site nearby, if you see a football stadium very close that you can hear the noise, unless you're a fan. So bear in mind, if you're a football fan and you're getting a property next to a football stadium, perhaps in future the struggle is to find another football fan to buy your property from you. So again, you're narrowing down your market. Okay, now just to give you another perhaps clue to what judgments to make and stuff, is that I always hear people saying like, well, I want to buy an apartment or house in that specific point, and I always ask them because I'm curious and I'm trying to help people. So I always ask them like, why exactly that specific area? And they say, oh, just because my friend bought a property there. Always tell them it's a bad idea. Like, don't go by what your friend just did. Ask your agent, that spot, what do you think? Is this a good area? Is it good for my lifestyle? Is it good for my investment in future? What is it good for? Don't follow a friend, because if your friend has made a mistake and has bought a property somewhere that in future perhaps nobody is interested to buy it, perhaps you will also need your friend's help to sell your property. Your agent, any normal agent cannot help you then. You go back to your agency and say, hey, can you help us to sell this property? And they say, sorry, that area is not so popular. So bear that in mind. Now, I think with locations we have covered most of it. I know perhaps it is still not quite clear to you in Marbella, Estepona or Beni Havis which exact urbanization or which exact pocket area you should buy a property. What I would say is that have a word with your agent. Choose a real estate agent who is experienced and they know the area. They can always help you to decide based on your lifestyle, based on your budget, where to look at, and they will be able to help you with that. Don't try, one thing I recommend is don't try to find the property yourself and make a decision by yourself. Just why, I explained to you, an experienced established estate agent who is doing this job day to day, every week, every month, every year, they come across thousands of properties, thousands of locations. They know the area inside out. So let's say, for the sake of argument, you've just rented a car from Gold Car or whatever these rental cars, and you've driven around the areas and you got a feel of the areas, which is fantastic. That's recommended. But while you're driving around, you come across this specific apartment. The owner is a nice person, fair enough. They say, okay, let's make a deal. Because you're not using an agent, you're not aware of other good possible options for yourself. It's possible in a big city you're driving here, but there is one road here, that there is one complex up there, better quality, better sea views, better prices, and you've just missed that road. And it's easy as that, guys. Making a good investment is not easy. But don't ever underestimate help of a good, experienced real estate agent. Thank you for watching. In the next episode, we'll be talking about qualities. We'll try to cover a few aspects of it, so eventually you get a good idea. Thanks for watching. Please make sure you subscribe to our channels to watch the rest of these series we are making right now. Thank you and have a great day. Bye.